What up, YouTubers? This is Evan for Grips.com coming at you with another video to help you build up your bankroll. I'm still on my laptop, so I apologize in advance if my microphone isn't as crisp as you guys are used to it being. Still working on getting my computer fixed, but I promise as soon as that's done, you guys will be getting those top quality videos you've come to expect from me here at Grips Poker Training. So I want to show you guys a new thing, big thing that's going on, and it's bwin. For the people who were around when online poker started, you guys probably remember Party Poker. Probably brings like a little bit of a nostalgic feeling when I mention Party Poker. The site was super soft. It was the world's largest poker site before Stars came around, and games were great. And something really cool has happened in the last few months, and that's that bwin, one of the biggest sports books in Europe, has merged with Party Poker to create bwin Party, which will hopefully be the next big thing, like the next biggest site outside of PokerStars. I've tested it out. Games are pretty soft, and I'm going to show you guys that in a minute. But since we're on the whole theme of building up our bankrolls for the winter so we can ball out in the spring and have a good time with our newfound monies, I want to show you guys some promotions that are worth taking advantage of at bwin. The first, you guys can open your account and just go to the promotion section to see this for yourself. But I just wanted to show you guys the ones worth focusing on for the small stakes guys who are probably going to be the main demographic for this video. So the first one is the Contenders, which is a free roll series where all you have to do is earn a few points and you get entry to anywhere from a $2,000 to a $1,200 free roll. Obviously, the more points you get, you'll have fewer people who also earn the same amount of points. So the higher level free roll you go into, the fewer opponents you will have to face, and you'll be getting to deal with a bigger prize pool. So the EV of the higher level free rolls is definitely worth it. And even the most micro stakes players can easily get 100 points in a week, maybe even more if you're a grinder. So these are great value, and I'd assume they are extremely soft, so definitely a good thing to score. I'd imagine you can cash for 4 figures in some of these. And by using that strategy guide only available at Grips.com, you're going to have a huge leg up on the competition. So just one more before I get kicked off my tables for taking too long, and that is the $5,000 bankroll booster, which is a weekly free roll, and all you have to do is earn 5 points in the week to get entry. So that's a 5K free roll every week that is not going to be getting played by too many people, and definitely worth checking out. Take me off the list. I'm ready to play. So there are also more promotions to look at. All you have to do is download the bwin client, and you can just flip through them yourself. They have leaderboards for MTT players, sit and go players, and they have their own version of Zoom Poker for everyone who's obsessed with that. They got Fast Forward Poker, which is pretty much the same shit. I'm not a huge supporter of the Fast Poker and the Zoom Poker. I'll talk about that more in an upcoming video, but I just wanted to let you guys know if that's your thing, it is available at bwin Party. And of course, as always, if you would like to support the Grips Poker Training Project and you want to let me know that you appreciate my videos, please, if you're interested in trying out bwin, just use the link below the video to sign up so I can get credit for the referral. Every little bit helps, and I appreciate your guys' support the same way that I'm sure you guys appreciate me putting out this content for you guys. So this session, we're going to be playing 6 tables of 50 NL. I have not played on bwin in a while. I do not know the players. But, let me think. Take me off. I'm good. I will auto post. But I do have a HUD, so that should kick in not too long. And if I'm just 6 tabling, should be able to pay attention and develop some reads. And I think that's a good way to do a video, is to show you guys how to start on a new site from scratch, since a lot of you guys who do end up checking out bwin will be starting from scratch and, not really knowing the regs. So this video is probably more useful if I don't use previously created reads. King Jack suited here definitely could defend. I think you can go either way with this hand. Some people would say you always have to call with it. Some people say you always have to fold with it. Given that the raise came from early position, I'm going to wait till I have a little more information about my opponent before I play that hand. If it were King-Queen suited, I don't think I can really justify folding. And I think it's somewhat hard to justify folding King-Jack suited as well. But I do encourage my students to not get seduced by suitedness. Good question to ask yourself when deciding whether or not you want to play a hand is, if it were unsuited, would you still play it in that same situation? So if it was King-Jack offsuit and I'm facing a raise from that position, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be throwing that one away. Pretty sure I'm going to be pitching it in the muck about as quickly as possible. So given that, I don't think I need to play it just because it is suited. Okay, we got a pair of ladies, and we're facing a button raise. We're going to re-raise it. Flat calling is also an option. People are like, whoa, no way, Gripst. You got to 3-bet that shit every time. And that's not true. Poker is about mixing it up and doing different plays. So, 3-betting is probably the default for most people against most opponents. It's not completely mandatory. And on this board, I'm going to check raise and get it in. I think it's a board that my opponent is going to be stabbing at a lot of the time when I check. But even though, there are some sets and some 2 pairs, I think my hand is too strong to be folding on this board in 3-bet pot. I could still be getting in against 9s, 10s, jacks. I could have snuck a bet out of, some ace-jack or something by checking there that would have folded if I bet. Also, betting that board can get me in a somewhat dicey spot if guy flats, but or like raises. Yeah. Whatever. We won the money. Let's move on. Now I know during the bankroll challenge I really hated on Party Poker. And I was like, their software sucks. I never want to play here. And looking back, I think a lot of it was the fact that I was just playing too many tables during the sessions, like 9 to 12 tables, which is really just an absurd amount of tables unless you're a real boss hog outlaw. Jack 9 could go either way. And I was, constantly getting these invites, do you want to sit on this table, wait list, your seats popped up. And like, there was just a little too much going on that I got pretty tilted. And I don't think it was necessarily the software's fault, because having experimented with some tournaments on here, software is pretty good. And I think the other thing that kind of bothered me was the color scheme of Party Poker. And, just something about it. The colors didn't mesh, and also the extra round tables. So what I like about bwin is first off, I really like the black. I think the black is really crisp. It's really clean, easy on the eyes. And I also like this kind of oval shaped table as opposed to the round table. It's very similar to the look of Party Poker. Obviously, they share the software. I'm gonna flatten this one. But it is a little different. And if you want to show your support for the Gripst project, but you want to play on this network and you don't like the look of bwin, just send me a private message to my inbox. You can also get a referral for Party Poker if you like that green background, or WPT Poker if you like that blue background. Personally, I really love the look of bwin, but it's a matter of personal preference. Alright, the 3-7 suited, we'll pop it up, blind versus blind, and looks like we're going to be in some hands here. Top pair on the bottom left, going to see that. Top left, I'm going to check back. Table 6 in the bottom right, I'm also going to check. And table 2, I'm going to bet here. I would break down the how and the why of these spots, but it's just kind of a lot of action all at once, which was really unexpected. So we can just try to figure it out as we go. I think I'm going to check back the ace-8 on a clean river. I will call. And let's hope this ace-5's good on table 6. Hell yeah! Now the question is, do we value bet on table 4? That's the one on the bottom left for new viewers to my video. Or is it too thin? Do we just check? Can he call with 7-6 and stuff like that? I'm not sure. I'm going to take the lower variance route and check. You can get no value. What are you doing floating with ace-10 on that board? I don't really understand why he did that. Maybe I'm just bitter he got lucky, but I don't think it was necessarily a great play. I think this 8-7 on table 4 can be defended. Okay, so people who are new to the videos, to know which table I'm talking about, on the top row is 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. And on the bottom row is 4, 5, 6, or 4, 5, 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've covered all the different viewers. I don't speak Chinese. I don't speak Italian. In fact, I've pretty much exhausted all my languages. Let's try a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Been a while since I did New German. But hopefully that works for you guys, letting you know which table's which. Okay, this ace-6 suited on table 4. I'm going to keep the pot small, just see the flop, and then decide if I want to put more money in. Obviously, popping it up, as Desert Felix did, is an option. So there's a decent chance we have to play the pot out of position, as the limpers may be calling. So I guess I was proven wrong, but that's why I opted not to. And we'll defend these 7s here on table 4. Been getting a lot of questions about small pairs out of position on table 3, and here's one way to play them. There are also many other ways to play them. But an important thing to note, I've probably said this in previous videos, but it's always good to rehash old concepts that are good ones and always applicable, is that just because you get dealt a pocket pair or a suited connector doesn't mean you have to play it. You want to look at factors such as your position, which opponents are out of position versus you, which opponents are in position versus you. You know, how the hand's likely to proceed if you open the hand or defend the hand or re-raise with the hand before deciding whether or not to play it. Just because your hand looks good doesn't mean it's like a must play. Okay, so this guy on table 3 donked out into us before. This time I got some equity and I'm going to raise him up. And we will see just what happens. See, I got dealt a pair of 3s on table 2. Doesn't mean I need to play it. See, and it's really not that hard to click the fold button. It's just really not. This board's pretty nasty on table 4. Let her slide. Okay. I'm gonna raise again to charge Peach Borrow if he has a flush draw. He might also just be doing this with some random hands. He could, and like, I'm not loving taking my 3 to showdown. I also have some outs. But he could also be one of those guys that just only knows how to min bet and min raise. Those guys are always fun to play against, but we'll only find out by watching. Table 6. I thought I was going to go with a check back bet turn, do a delayed C bet. He didn't buy it, but fortunately we hit a little strap on the river. And these kings, oh these kings, how is it that the ace comes every single time? I'm gonna do something crazy. Look, I got dealt a good looking hand on table 5. Hold it. Wow. So this guy's saying full house, which is definitely possible. The question is, he could also have queen 10. Question is, if he had a full house, why did he not bet it on the turn? So here's ace jack. We lose queen 10. Damn! What a sick river. Just gonna bet the river. So what is that? 80% of the time I win that pot. Pretty sick. Pretty sick indeed. Gonna throw the squeeze on here on table 4. Try to isolate Jules 77. It's a tough pot with Tash Kudus. He's probably not bluffing there very often, as most players at these limits are not capable of check raising the river as a bluff. And for those of you watching, that means you don't need to try to hero call people when they check raise the river. Generally, you can just fold all but your best hands, and you won't be giving up too much value. I actually kind of like that river. I think this guy could be ace king, but I think he bet that, so bet the river, turn my J's into a bluff. What? I was bluffing! Dude. I guess that means he made a good call. Or not a good call. He made a good read. He thought I was bluffing, and indeed I was. Let's see what his hand history looked like. He had a pair of 5s. I don't understand what the fuck he's doing there. But hey, I'll take it. So yeah. People generally aren't going to be check raising rivers as a bluff. I didn't know if maybe he could do that with a jack. Although looking back, I think he probably would have bet a jack on the turn. You know, looking back, you know, we can just put all the pieces together and everything makes sense. Hindsight's 20/20. But that doesn't mean it's not a good exercise to do, because if you look back at hands and figure them out after the fact, even though you're like, oh, you know, that makes sense, that's kind of what I thought. If you constantly do the exercise, well, hey, maybe next time you get into that situation, your brain will remember what you did and be able to put the pieces together before you pay off that river bet. A mistake is only truly a mistake if you don't learn anything from it or don't use it to your benefit. I don't know what this guy's repping here, but I don't need to take. I don't need to do a play just because. Then a 7/8 on table 6. You know, if you make a mistake and you just move on or forget about it or ignore it or try to pretend like it didn't happen, then that's where the real mistake happens. That's where you're really doing yourself a disservice. If, however, you take a step back, or you know, you note that hand. Note that hand so when your session's done, you can go back and look at it. If you have Hold'em Manager or Poker Tracker, that's fantastic, because that's... Thank God for high quality technology. Did your guys' heart skip a beat? Because mine definitely did. Oh, that's right. You guys don't even know what happened, because this video is going to be clipped together like it's all smooth. Well, for anyone who's playing on a laptop, you might want to put like a piece of tape over that power button. Because during the session, if you tap that thing, everything is going down, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Fortunately, the new version of Camtasia is really, really good and recovers what you were recording. And fortunately, I was able to get back on the tables before I got kicked off. So anyway, let's just get right back to the action as if we never left. Tables have been moved around, but I can't put them back in place because I don't remember which one was where. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. are now different than they were before. Ah, Alex, it's our min better. I remember you. You used to be table 3. Raise it up. Now we got a dry flop on table 5, so we'll just see bet that. And if I remember correctly, last time Alex folded to the second raise, so we'll proceed the same way as we did before. This board he's a little less likely to fold, I feel like, but still, we can't have him thinking he can be pushing us around with these min bets. Just hammer him. We turn to ace on table 5. I'm gonna check it back. It's a great barrel card, and I would bet it if I was bluffing. But since I have it, I want to keep my opponent in the pot. It's reasonable, right? Yeah, call. What you got? You got the king. Whether or not he folds that to a second bet, I'm not sure. Oh, shit. Computer's at bits. Alright, this is a pretty dry flop on table 4. So I will take a stab at it. Obviously, 3-way versus heads up. You want to be c-betting less often in general. And out of position versus in position. Well, actually that one really depends. But as the pot gets more multi-way, you want to lean away from just like automatically c-betting. You want to make sure you have good reason for firing a c-bet when the pot's really multi-way. Alright, so take a flop with the king queen on table 1. Didn't really catch any equity. So probably just throw it away. That's cool, McAfee. I don't care that I'm not protected. I'm protected versus my opponents in these games by a superior skill level. And, you know, the viruses get me. Just have to reinvest in new comp. Alright, so we get min raised by Kikujibo. We have a flush draw to go with the fact that could have outs. If he has a draw as well, we could have the best hand. I think we're really looking to improve if we're going to put more money in this pot. But wow, cold call of a 3-bet. I'm scared. You got me. I'm gonna check on table 6. Heads up, I'd definitely be c-betting in this spot, but now that it's a 3-way pot and the Squash Master 8-8 is looking at probably having a reasonably strong range to cold call a 3-bet there, I'm just gonna check fold. And it's really important to be able to hold back on c-betting. In general, you're going to want to be c-betting more often than you're not c-betting, but that doesn't mean you just have license to c-bet every time. Table 5, I'm going to value bet. I feel like this guy has nothing, and I'm not going to get called much, so I'll bet on the smaller side. I'm going to call with a wider range. Table 4, we'll try a 3-bet. Really interested to see what these guys have on table 6. Could it be queens? Well, that was very unexpected. So, what do we do when we see something unexpected? We make a note. Cold call 4-bet, MBD, ace 10 suited, bet 3 streets, button, Q668. Very interesting spot there. We'll take a look at the hand history to see what the other guy had. Well, he had the queen. So, like a whole bunch of crazy turns of events that led to us actually, that we would have won that pot. But, pretty miraculous that we would have not only made the best hand, but been able to show it down. feel like most hands beat us on table 6. This guy's leading range probably has straight draws, jacks, and flush draws. So we only beat the straight draws. But for you guys, just so we can see what's going on with this crazy dude, we'll give him a call. That was for your guys' information. Do not try that at home. Stick with your read. Throw the hand away. You know, with Alex, I don't know. I don't think I can pull to Alex. He's just random idiot factor. I only have to win here about 33% of the time. Maybe next time will be one of those, part of that 33. Games definitely seem pretty good though. One party here. And even if you're not like ready or committed to make a permanent move, whoa, what did you do? Pretty heroic. Yeah, even if you're not ready to make a permanent move, it's still definitely worth checking out the other sites. If you have money bookers, Skrill, it's really easy to move money back and forth between sites. And you know, if your bankroll is so small that you can't really afford to make the move, that's understandable. I'm not saying, you know, you guys have to try out bwin, but it's definitely worth your while to experiment. You know, just put a little bit of money on a bwin, put a little bit of money on. I showed you guys 888, and I'll be showing you more sites in the upcoming weeks and months. And try them out. You might find that one suits you better, that you enjoy the software more, you enjoy the style of play more at one site over another. Or, you know, you might find that PokerStars is the one for you. But hey, at least you try the other ones to find out for sure, and then you can be confident about PokerStars. If you never try the other sites, I mean, you'll just never know. You'll play stars because that's what you know and you're familiar with, but it may not be the best fit for you. I can't, you know, I'm not going to say you guys have to switch. As I said, I'm just introducing you guys to these other sites so that you can know what else is out there and have the options. Ace 4 suited on table 6, I think it's fine to defend here. 3-betting is also an option. I think folding would probably be a mistake. If you're really uncertain of your post-flop abilities though, and you think you make a lot of post-flop mistakes, it's okay to fold. Just like, don't use that as a crutch. Acknowledge it, work on your post-flop game, so that in the future you won't have to make that fold. But if you're just starting out, it's okay to play on the tighter side for sure. Don't feel like you have to play every pot or every close spot just because you saw the pros do it in some video. At the end of the day, it's about you and your own game. No one can tell you how to play. I'm going to check these queens down and definitely calling a river bet. Check. Okay. And as you guys can see, bwin has the handy shortcut buttons just like stars for bet sizing. I think all the sites these days have pretty similar features. Where they really differ is the way their software looks and the promotions they have. But in terms of like functionality and shortcuts and all that other cool stuff, I think they're all pretty similar, so it's not like some sites are 5 years behind the other ones. And you'll be playing on the Stone Age if you try a new site. Also, another thing bwin's doing that I like is if you're timing out on a table, you go bright yellow. So if you're like mass tabling, you're like 12, 16 tabling, you're always going to know when the action's on you. First, as you can see on table 6, they'll put a yellow box around you. And then as soon as you get like halfway into your time bank, table goes yellow. And then orange. And what color do we think it's going to go next? If you guessed red, you're correct. So that's actually really cool. I didn't know that it switched all the way to red, but it shows you which decisions need to happen ASAP and which ones can kind of wait so you can plan out your options. That's a really good feature for multi-tabling. I feel like I've been talking all about the promotions and not about the players. So as I get back in the swing of things, we'll get to talking about the players. I may continue the bankroll challenge here. I just need to get my HUD working. I feel like I'm at a big disadvantage without it. But just looking around the table, looking at the names and looking at the stack sizes and stuff, it would appear that there are definitely a lot of fishy or recreational players here, a lot more than there were when bwin was part of OnGame and Party Poker was on its own. So I think this merging between bwin and Party is a fantastic thing for any grinder out there who wants to score some extra money. Definitely a really profitable thing to have happen. And these guys have big tournaments too. Every Sunday, for the big players watching these vids, every Sunday there's a 300K guaranteed, which is a really good one to satellite into. It's a $200 buy-in. And once a month they have a $1 million guaranteed tournament with a buy-in of 640. So aspiring tourney players, there's definitely stuff worth satelliting into on bwin. And that's something else that's I haven't really mentioned in previous videos. I know we've talked about finding your game, whether you should play cash games or sit and goes, and what's the best fit for you. But something I never talked about regarding multi-table tournaments is qualifiers and satellites and top set and hidden check folding. But the qualifiers for like the $200 tournaments and even the $100 tournaments, like the kind of like step qualifiers, are pretty soft. And for someone with like a sit and go background or an MTT background who's better with small fields, maybe not necessarily the like 1,000 person, 2,000 person fields that we see in some of the big MTTs, those tournaments are really good value. And when I was first building my bankroll, or one of the first few times I was building up a bankroll, I managed to make a lot of money playing these they're called Ace of Aces qualifiers on Poker Room, where it was a $20 buy-in. It would be 3 seats guaranteed to this $150 tournament, and I must have played 30 satellites and won like 22 seats because people just didn't know how to adjust to the satellite structure. And also just because who's gonna play a satellite to a non-major tournament? People want to play satellites to the main event. They want to play satellites to the EPT. Most people don't want to play a satellite to gotcha. So a $150 tournament or a $200 tournament, especially not on these smaller sites. So you're gonna get a lot of people who are just playing it because that's the tournament that was about to start when they logged on and they wanted to play. They didn't want to wait. So you're going to get a lot of recreational players, and you're not going to find a lot of grinders playing those things. On Stars, you will find some grinders, but on bwin and on 888 and on the new Betfair. They are like, they're some of the softest things you can be playing. So I definitely, anyone who's got MTT skills, who you know is looking to add to their schedule, holy shit, is that quads on table 4, and we're not even in the pod. Yeah, I would definitely recommend checking out some qualifiers and just seeing how they play. So, anyone who takes that to heart and gives it a shot, please post in the comments. Let me know if you found any luck playing those sit and goes qualifiers. Maybe you'll see me in. Gonna check back these 10s and call the river. I'm gonna fire a c-bet on table 6. It's pretty dry board, and I do have overcards. There are a lot of cards that could come that I could barrel. But if he doesn't want to let me, that's okay. On this river, on table 3, I don't think I'm going to get called by a 9 anymore, or an 8, and I don't think he'll fold a king, so I'm just going to check it back. And I don't think he could call with that. Pretty confident he couldn't call with that. I don't think there's too much purpose in betting again on table 5. Just going to shut it down and probably lose the pot. We do beat flush draws, so that's a plus, but definitely losing aces. My question is if he has like a pair of 7s or 8s that he defended from the small blind, if he would fold them to a bet. And I'd be curious to know your guys' opinion on that. Anyway, we'll check and find out. See? Yeah! Could I have got him off that? I know if I bet all 3 I could have got him off it. Question is, if I check back the turn and bet the river, do I get him off it? And if the answer is yes, then I should definitely bet that. I think he'd be betting his aces himself. If I have to bet the turn to get him off there, I'll have a little less info there. So I don't know if I like it that much. But let me know what you guys think the best play is there with those 5s. Like, it's obviously okay to give up on pots. You don't need to try to win every single pot you play. But it's always good to think about all the other options too. B win. I think I'm gonna. No, I just may go ahead and continue the bankroll challenge here. I think when we left off, we had like 1,200 or so. And just based on the look of these games, I think them combined with a good deposit bonus, I could definitely build one up here. Pretty sure I 3-bet this guy blind versus blind before on table 3, so I'm not going to do it this time. I'm tempted. Suited cards, they tempt me hard. But I don't want to do it too much. Might find myself getting 4-bet. And that's no fun, right guys? Alex, you're bad. You're getting labeled. Probably should have come up with something a little more descriptive. Don't min-raise. Kind of doing like a block bet here. Block that. Woo. That's a very big ace. Alright, my man. All yours. Oh, Another good feature Bwin has, auto reload. I guess that's pretty standard these days, but I remember the old Betfair. You have to like click buy chips. I remember on like the old Betfair, if any of y'all played old on game, oh man, shit was jokes. To reload, you'd have to sit out, buy chips, and sit back in. It was the most ridiculous thing ever, and it was so tilting. I mean, I got my ninja skills up pretty hard. I got pretty good at it, but man, it was brutal. So the fact that Bwin has auto reload, I'm very happy about. It's just one less thing to worry about. We saw that DC's kind of like stationy, call down kind of dude. So I'm not going to barrel here on table 1. Table 4, I'm going to bet once. If Alex doesn't have an ace, I can get him to fold. But I'm making a really cheap investment. If he does, oh well. You know, he limped and cold called a 3-bet to be able to hit that 3-outer, so I'm not going to be too upset about it. But I'm not going to compound any errors by paying him off. Just let these jacks go. Because so far, even though he's done his min bet thing, he appears to have been pretty passive, and in general probably had it for the most part when he bets. So, given that, I'm not going to give him action. If he was like a really aggressive type of fish, then I might try check calling down or something. What's with the tank, Felix? This should be a really easy decision. Let's see if we can't get Felix off some overcards. Got him. Call that one a timing tell. And that's why it is important that you pay attention when you're playing. Don't be on Facebook. Don't be watching movies. Watch your games. If you decided that you wanted to grind and play poker, grind and play poker. Don't do anything else. Appreciate the fact that you get to play poker. Be excited about it. Be happy. Make the most of it. But don't half-ass it. If you're like one tabling or you're playing a tournament, then it's alright. I can see like doing a movie or something because you can still pay pretty good attention. But if you're multi-tabling, there's really no excuse to be doing anything else on the side while you play. And on that note, I'm going to do one more orbit. I think the video is getting close to about an hour, which is a good length for my true grinder viewers out there. For those of you working folk, I'm sorry that this video was a little long. You may have to watch it in parts. But appreciate the views. I appreciate you guys watching, for sure. It really makes my day to know that you guys support the project and appreciate my work. So I'm going to keep on making these bits for you guys. And I'm going to check call with this King 5. Some people will be like, well, you got 2 pair. What about check raising? Think about what hands Nick Muffin will continue with if I check raise, and let me know how top and bottom pair is doing against those hands. Just throwing it out there. Windows, special razor. It's a really weird spot. I feel like he may have king queen, so I'm going to call 1 and then decide on the river if I want to call again. Probably not going to call again. I mean, I only lose. It's really weird. I don't think he checks any over pairs. I don't think he checks like 2 pairs and stuff. you know what? We're gonna get funky with it. Because he might even fold a jack to this check raise, which was the only. Well, not folding. At least we tried, right? Now we can make a note and not do it again. That's what I get for going against the gut. You don't want to outthink yourself. And this here, it's a really big squeeze. It's tempting with a hand like ace queen suit to see a flop. Like, it's a really good hand. But this guy is squeezing pretty large, and he is squeezing an early position raiser. So I'm just going to respect that fact, and I'm going to throw the ace queen suited in the muck. Sad. I know you guys really want to see a flop there. Why are you betting so small, Sizer? Why aren't you trying to get all my chips here? You have a king. Leaving value on the table. He wanted to make sure he got paid. That's another thing you guys should pay attention to is bet sizing. Timing and bet sizing. Pay attention to those two things, my friends. You will find yourself making better decisions. And also, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try stuff. You know, I tried that river check raise. I knew it was possible the guy had a jack. But I thought, hey, maybe if I try this play, he might fold a jack. Now I know he won't. But you can only find out by trying. If you can justify why you're doing what you're doing, then it's worth at least trying it, as long as it's not going to, like, shatter your confidence or bust your bankroll or anything. Obviously, don't do it all the time. But if you think, or don't do it if you think like there's a really low chance of it working, but if you think that a play might work and you strongly believe that there's a really good chance that it's going to work, like let's say you know someone bets too thin on the river, then you can try a check raise. If you have that read on that player, and you gotta know a lot about your opponent before you try these plays, and I think that's a mistake I made here, was kind of blindly attempting that play. But if the information all kind of adds up that you can try something a little fancy and a little aggressive, and it has a high chance of working, then fucking go for it. Just go for it, and if it works, amazing. If it doesn't, at least you found out, and you can know not to try it again against that player necessarily. But if you're afraid to go with your read, you're never going to improve as a player. So that's something I really want you guys to take home with you. So pay attention to timing, pay attention to sizing, pay attention to your opponents, make notes, and don't be afraid to make a read, go with your gut, and try something new. And yeah, those are the main things. Oh, and don't forget to play the free rolls so you can build up your bankroll. And don't forget to post in the comments to let me know how things are going and how you guys are progressing with your bankrolls, because it makes me really happy anytime I see or hear. If I see a comment hearing about how you guys are doing well, that always makes me really happy. You king deuce. There's good value on party poker. B-win. People are defending the big blind to a 3x open with king 2 suited. Just throwing it out there. So we'll do a quick check at the lobby. Right. Just want to show you guys how to navigate it. You got your, what's this? Oh, favorites, cool. Quick seat. I would advise against skipping this, but cash games, they're organized really well. Choose what game you want to play, and you can flip through what limits you want to play, and you can have all games, heads up only games, 6-handed games, 9-handed games. So you can see they're very easy to sort through. And you can also see there's quite a lot of action going on at B1. And I promise you guys, these games are softer than the ones at PokerStars. Sit and goes, same thing, your filter's right there. Really easy to go through. Hold 'em, all seats, one table, $6, $20. They're all there. It's great. Tons and tons to choose from. And MTTs they've got a lot. So I would say stay away from blackjack here. This is the danger zone. And here's your fast forward. See, the limits aren't as big as those people playing as the ones on stars, but they got games. Well, they have heads up Zoom poker. That shit cray. And one guy's playing everybody. That's funny. Okay, so in closing, if you're interested in trying out bwin, please be supportive of the Grips Poker Training Project and use the link found underneath the video. And don't forget to take advantage of those free roll promotions. And when you get in there, make sure you get a deposit bonus. And make sure you check out those promotions so that you can get the most out of your time and experience at bwin. As always, please leave me your comments and your feedback. I appreciate them very much. If you're interested in joining our Skype group for support and strategy discussions, just send me a private message on YouTube here with your Skype username, and I'll get you in the group. And apologies one more time that I'm still on the laptop for the microphone issues, but I'm working on it, and I'm sure you guys can see past that and still get the value out of this video. So that's going to do it for me. This has been EvanForGrips.com. Now it's your turn. Go out there and get stacking.